Convergence is the operating system of the matriarchy. It's our inherent ability to be able to go and like find the convergence. It's no longer, the extremes and the sectors and the sections and the division. It's convergence in the middle of the circle is the OS of the matriarchy. And it's how we're going to start to rewire all of this. It's by meeting in the middle.
Welcome, coaches, to the Coaching Magic Podcast, where we reveal, discover, and create the insights, tools, and aha moments that make your coaching seem, well, magical. I'm your host, Jill Young, and I invite you to listen up, giddy up, and buckle up as we play with this creative profession of coaching that helps humans become their best, including you. Hey coaches, I'm excited to bring you this episode with Kelly Clements. Kelly is a very unique kind of coach. She's a relationship coach, but not just for any relationship. She is mostly a coach for entrepreneurs, founders, business owners like us coaches who need a little bit of help with their relationship. Now, this episode, Kelly and I get into some really cool topics, and I do want to give you just a heads up that we do talk about a shooting. So there's no details or anything like that. But if this topic is sensitive to you, you may want to skip that part. So you might want to join the podcast at about the 15-minute mark. Some other topics that we dig into is the necessity of coaches doing our own personal work. And what better advice can we get than from a coach who coaches relationships? So doing our own personal work, modeling vulnerability. Oh, the power of the messy middle. Yes. And then also we wrap up with some discussion and some really great tips for high achieving entrepreneurs to balance that masculine and feminine and how to work in a relationship with both of those energies. So coaches, I hope you learn a lot. Grab your notebook and enjoy.
Clear your throat, get ready.
Everybody, here we are. Coaching Magic today is with my good friend, Kelly Clements. Kelly, hello. Welcome to Coaching Magic.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here with you.
So fun. I was able to reconnect with you just it feels like months ago, but it could have been even weeks ago because time is flying by a little fast these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was fun. It was fun. We've connected. We've known each other through Strategic Coach for sure. Both Kelly, when you worked for Strategic Coach, and of course now we are in Strategic Coach together as coaches, as entrepreneurs. Super fun. Both female coaches. We just have a lot in common here.
I know. I was so excited when I saw you walking through the corridor for coach. I was like, Jill, we're back. It's so great to see you again.
It's good.
Yeah.
Kelly, I'd love to start our conversation today with really kind of diving into personal shifts. So we know that coaching, this profession, this very creative coaching profession, requires the coach, us, to do our own personal work. And what I have experienced myself, what I've experienced from coaching other coaches, just being around other coaches in the last dozen years or so, is that sometimes we are not aware of that when we come into the profession. We really think to ourselves, and it's a thinking thing, oh, I need the skills to coach other people.
Mm-hmm.
But we often, when we start to be in the space of transformation with our clients, we start to transform and shift ourselves. Can you talk to us or share with us maybe one or two of those profound personal shifts that you found as you started to be a coach for maybe the last, 15, 20 years? 10?
Yeah, since 2004, so 21 now.
Okay,
Actually 21
21
this
years.
month. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Yeah,
We would love you to reveal some of that Kelly magic of those personal shifts that you
sure.
experienced.
So the first big one was back in about 2015. I was coaching entrepreneurs. I was doing Colby consulting, working with a lot of project-based entrepreneurial companies and in some of their development. And I just got to a place where I realized what a gaping hole there was in the market for spouses of entrepreneurs. And most of my clients were men. And so I had attention on what was happening for their wives at home and how much of themselves they were losing doing life with a really big, driven partner.
Hmm.
Um, and so I started integrating the spouse into my coaching that was really born from my own personal experience. I was married in my first marriage, and I was definitely the more driven entrepreneurial partner. And, that at one point, my then husband said, "Why do you always need more? Why can't this just be enough for you?" And I realized then we were going in very different directions, and unfortunately, that marriage ended in divorce. So in my next relationship, in my infinite wisdom, I went to the complete opposite extreme and was with another equally driven entrepreneur. And over the years, I felt myself shifting, downgrading, making room for him, acquiescing in the name of support.
Hmm.
And one day he looked at me and he's like, "What happened to you? You used to light up every room. You're always frustrated and exhausted." And I was like, "Screw you. I'm on the floor waiting for the crumbs of your attention." And I started looking around and I started seeing many of the other wives of entrepreneurs feeling the same way. So the first shift was integrating the spouse of entrepreneurs into my coaching. And I've been doing that, like I said, since about 2015, full stop, where that's been the only thing that I've been doing. But the most recent shift actually came this year. I had a really, really hard case, one of my client cases in February, and it was brutal, brutal, brutal. And I just got to a place of I don't know if I want to do this anymore. Like there's just so much that I did something called the prayer of Jabez. And the prayer of Jabez is um basically a prayer for a massive shift. And I didn't know what kind of, like, wrecking ball that was gonna come in, but what 'cause it was I was really wanting to get into coaching moms of boys. I have 2 grown sons, and I started having more attention on wanting to coach moms of boys and how to raise really strong, great men as a single mom, because I think sometimes if we're too dominant, we can make our sons soft, and so how to be a strong, ambitious woman and also making room for men. And I launched that program, and in the middle of the launch, my 16-year-old got a blood clot, and that blood clot led to a, um, emergency transport in the middle of the night, emergency removal, a surgery to remove it. We were released from the hospital without the clot. 4 hours later, his arm went numb. We had to go back to the hospital with another clot. He had to have that clot removed. Then there was sudden swelling where we were rushed down to the ER where we were caught in a hospital shooting. And so, like, the I enormity of that um, in the name of not wanting to get too emotional, I'll leave it at that, but it was a very devastating, and so now we're in September. That all happened in early June. I'm just coming out of that and, like, really finding my feet again about how I'm gonna care for myself, because in the middle of so much crisis and carrying a client load was a really big wake-up call for me in terms of personal shifts.
Wow. Kelly, thank you. Thank you for, uh, wow, highlighting so many places of shifting, but I would like to ask you to oh, there's so many things going through my heart. I see you. I love you. My son has also had, uh, really scary life or death, um, situations and lots of in and out of hospital. So I just wanna acknowledge that I don't know exactly how you feel, but I'm with you as much as
Thank
I
you.
can be in that situation. And, hmm, whew, being driven myself, I can really feel that tension and the relief that
Mhm.
we're a few months past it. I really would love us to stay with, if you don't mind, if you're willing to go with us there, where you are now.
Mhm.
And if the podcast conversation takes us back, there were several other things I would love to pull the thread on.
Sure.
But could you go right inside Kelly Clements
Mhm.
and let us know what it's like to be you right now?
Yes. Right now, it is very heavy. I'm in the season where my 18-year-old is moving on. My 16-year-old is, in a big transition himself. So I'm very confronted with what's going to happen with when my kids leave. I was a single mom for a very long time. I'm repartnered now, but like the thought of my orbit leaving is really, really, really heavy with me right now. And so I'm really getting a dose of my own medicine because part of what I coach the wives of entrepreneurs is you have to be grounded in yourself. You have to get all the parts of you back online, independent of everybody else. And so I'm really taking a big heaping spoonful of my own medicine right now. Um, and I started getting going through my own therapy for recovering from the PTSD of everything that we went through with my son Luke. I'm doing a lot of biorelations in terms of like just getting back to like the pure essence of men and women. And I have a radical, radical thirst for the truth. Like I only want the truth. Um, I think that the truth is the loudest sound in the room, and my tolerance for talking around the truth and hard facts is completely gone at this point. Um, there's been a lot of gaslighting with some of the doctors that we've been going through, and I I have like a radar detector on it now. Like the second somebody pauses or like there's any indication of something that's not being full truth, I am on it like a dog on a bone. So um, it is a big, heavy, wild, and I know ultimately productive time right for me right now. I can feel that it's like we're in the middle of like the lotus flower starting to rebloom.
Mhm. You've used some words that kind of pull on a thread in my heart and mind about getting back to basics, about
Mhm.
listening through your body. You've used some
Mhm.
somatic, some grounding, and then you also, I love this. Maybe you said radical truth is coming back to my just this radical truth. Would you be willing to share with us what that's feeling like in your body right now? What does
In
truth
my
feel like?
I feel it in my head. I'm very, very mental. I have a lot of mental energy, and so I just feel it in my head. It's like I can hear it differently.
Mhm.
It rings differently. The quality of the voice or the tone sounds different. Um, I think I can feel it in my heart and gut. Like there's just that's not right. That's off. Something's off. Keep going. Um, but I feel it mostly in my head just because I have so much mental energy.
Mm, yeah, and I found that, a lot of times, at Strategic Coach, when I've walked in the room and been there, a lot of driven entrepreneurs have this mental energy, and
Mhm.
I experience the same thing, and then, dropping into our heart, letting that you mentioned heaviness, letting that heaviness,
Mhm.
for me, I experience the heaviness can help me slow down. It's the weight, using that heaviness to guide me to my heart, guide me to my gut. It just pulling the thread. You used head, heart, and gut, and I
Mhm.
find a lot of coaches when I ask them where they feel it, it's these three areas just kind of in alignment right there.
Yeah.
Are you sensing anything? That you're finding either in you also mentioned you're taking a dose of your own medicine, so I'm wondering if there's a thread where you teach or you've seen that in other clients that you're helping to come into their truth.
Absolutely, absolutely. And that's one of the things I always say is the longest journey you'll ever take is the 18 inches from head to heart. Like when you drop into your heart, it just knows. And I think, you know, it's because I'm doing this in the context of love relationships and how many of the conversations and like, what's the right way to say this? And, you know, what about this? And it's like your body already knows. You know, when you're asleep at night, all of your cells are talking to all of your partner cells all of the time.
Mm.
You already know.
Yes.
And that's not necessarily like in like a skeptical way. Like you already know your partner loves you and wants to do well by you. They just don't know how. Or you already know they're checked out and this, you know, this relationship might be at the end, but like getting into what your body already knows and not letting the logic try and take over because I think so many times it's like that's what where the conversations get off pace or the communication goes left because you're looking for the logic to support and it's like just get with what you already know.
Hmm. Kelly, I'm so excited you're on the Coaching Magic podcast today because this is I'm just feeling this energy of um like uh this is coaching magic. This
Mhm.
is coaching magic, and especially for female coaches. And I don't want to dismiss anything about the male coaches because you absolutely male coaches, you have this in your bodies for sure. And then the female coaches, um, it's like this is just me have experienced, and then maybe you chime in that the female coaches are um, a little more pre-wired with it, so we get
Mhm.
a little more easier access to it, and at the same time, successful, ambitious female coaches have, if we don't know this, we have shut it down. With our strong drive and mind, we've shut it down. Can you unpack that a little bit? And now a short detour for a spark of curiosity. Today's episode is brought to you by the book, The Power of Systems by Steve Chandler and Trevor Timbeck. It's one of my favorite books. Let me read you a little bit from the back. It says, "Hope is not a strategy, but it can help you find one. Where there's a will, there's a system." If you ever have clients asking themselves or you, "Why do I do this? Why am I this way? Why does this keep happening?" A little tip or a hint for you: start with their system first. Sometimes we just do things because we're human. That's why we do things, but with the power of a good system, we can turn it around. And if you are looking for a great system for your own coaching practice, I invite you to join us at coachingmagic.com. This is where you can find out all of the cool details about how you join this powerful community of coaches who are dedicated and passionate and definitely love a good system. And now back to our regularly scheduled program.
So happy you asked that. This is my favorite thing to talk about right now. Yes, I love it. And this was a function of my journey because I was the strong, driven, entrepreneurial, ambitious partner in my first marriage. Like I completely sidelined my husband. Like it was just it's my way. I got it. Go get out of my way. Speed up or get out of my way.
Yeah, I think Kelly, just so you know, you have a friend on this podcast. I'm pretty sure I did the same thing to my husband. I call him my husband. He used to be my husband. He's my
That's
husband.
great. Yep. And I think because our generation came up in a time where doing anything like a girl was an insult. And
Mhm.
so we just gathered all of this masculine energy. And I think a lot of us had to because we were the latchkey generation. Like we just had to figure it out. And that's all masculine energy. And you know, 90s, early 2000s, 2010, you know, up until 2010s, it was really celebrated. And then we all got to the top of the mountain and it was like, I'm burnout, I'm pissed off, I'm exhausted, I'm bitter, like, maybe this wasn't the path. And so I learned about my feminine energy in that second relationship when I was with a more driven entrepreneurial partner. For the first time, I got to go, "Oh, well, this is kind of nice just to relax and be in pleasure and be along for the ride." And obviously, I took that to the too far extreme because I went so supportive, so accommodating. Like I just yeah, exactly. The pendulum swung from one exact extreme to the other exact extreme. So I've learned to find the pendulum resting in the middle of like when I need to be masculine is actually decreasing more and more and more because it's actually when I'm in my feminine ease where my business comes through me and I'm not grinding and clawing and like exerting and it's just like an expression. And I'm postmenopausal, which means my intuition is through the freaking roof. So I just get to be at ease and let the intuition do the work and be true, inauthentic, genuine BS because I can be in my feminine now where I'm just like, I don't care anymore.
If you're not watching this podcast, if you are just listening, I am beaming and just short of jumping through the roof because I'm also postmenopausal and I've also sensed this incredible increase
Yes.
in intuition, a different type of energy. Maybe it's not the kind of energy that I want to get up at 4:44 in the morning anymore. It's it's vibing. Like it's definitely a physical sensation that vibes with me, and so thank you for that.
Yes.
You are a living mirror of what I've been feeling, and so I just have all this energy moving through me of truth. Like yes, oh my gosh,
That's
that's a
it.
real thing. That's
Yeah.
so cool. That's so cool.
Give all the
And
perimenopausal listeners something to look forward to.
yes. I'm also reflecting on your story itself. And coaches like feel this out. And at the beginning of the podcast we stated that as coaches move deeper into your profession, this creative profession we call coaching, where we help people be our best, you are doing your personal work. And so I love, Kelly, that you brought us to your personal shifts. One of them, like I wrote this down. It feels like the first personal shift came 10 years into you coaching. So if you think, oh, I've shifted, I'm done in 1 or 2
Mhm.
years. Oh, they continue to come. And then you're having one right now.
Yep.
So as we continue to get deeper into this, we will shift. And Kelly's experiences gave her shifts of pendulums where I have found that again, just in coaching coaches, when I hear stories, it often seems like we, the coach, we get an extreme experience with the thing that we are helping people with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I call those gut checks
Gut
because
checks. Say more.
it's like you get this extreme experience, and then normally the next thought for somebody who's coaching from their life's work is like, I'm no longer qualified for this anymore. Like,
Yes. Thank
I've
you for
lost
saying that.
credential. Yep.
Yes, imposter syndrome. How can I coach uh, an entrepreneurial marriage? You coach
Totally.
relationships. If mine can't even stay together, I know we've had that conversation, but I love this so much because so many coaches will. If we're not connected, if we're not in groups, if we're not witnessing each
Yes.
other, if we don't have a coach ourselves, which is I'm a
Yes.
big fan, coaches need coaches, we will see that as that imposter syndrome. I love what you said, losing our credentials.
Yeah.
So maybe talk about some shifts of how we play with that and integrate that.
So I think the first thing is like really like divorcing yourself from what you thought your body of work was and like where did I miss here? And it could have been I went to accommodating. One of the things that I'm learning right now in this season is the importance of convergence and everybody coming towards center. I think we can see that in whether it's our politics or spirituality, like all of the extremes and how much division is on the extremes. And so the thought of convergence and everyone coming towards center, like don't let your pendulum swing from one side to the other, get to the center. And
Mhm.
so stepping back and like taking yourself out of your prescription, like where did I miss? Where was the pendulum stop in the middle that didn't get addressed? Doing your work in there, it's gonna make you way more related. You're gonna be able to relate to your clients at a lot better, so you're actually gonna be able to serve them deeper because you've been in the belly of that beast now. It will take some time and everything is a process, but when you can get to the center of like where did my pendulum swing from one side to the other and like where was it like in the messy middle that I should have stayed a little bit longer? Because I think we wanna avoid the messy middle because it's chaotic and there's uncertainty and, like, we wanna all find the hacks, but
Mm.
the messy middle is really where the work gets done. It's really where the iron starts to be able to get reshaped is in that middle piece, and so and PS, convergence is the operating system of the matriarchy. It's our inherent ability to be able to go and, like, find the convergence. It's no longer, the extremes and the sectors and the sections and the division, it's convergence in the middle of the circle is the OS of the matriarchy, and it's how we're gonna start to rewire all of this, it's by meeting in the middle.
That's so powerful. And and I get the sense that a coach, and specifically a coach like you, it can feel and sense this convergence, the middle,
Mhm.
because you have been to the extremes.
Yes. Yes.
We hit the edges to now go back to center and go, ah, this is what truth feels
Yes.
like. This is what intuition. This is my intuition versus my anxiety.
Yes.
This that
Freedom.
that middle, we can sense it because we've been to the edges.
Absolutely. Yep. And I think a little bit there's a s maybe a stigma or maybe even a little bit of an ick on the middle because it can be misinterpreted as, like, average, basic,
Mm.
mediocre, right? Like we want the extremes. We want the bigger, better, faster, stronger. Like we don't want this relatable thing. And until you've really mastered how to keep bigger, better, faster, stronger across all areas of life, which PS is going to require being in the middle of all of those, something's going to topple. It just
Right.
is.
Yeah.
Just is, and so getting away from, like, the ick that we might have on contentment or, um, slowness or mediocre or average, because we can do the middle at a really high level,
Mhm.
but if you have a stigma on it, you're gonna keep swinging from one extreme to the other.
Mm. It's so beautiful. In coaching magic, we're really big on rest.
Mm,
And maybe we're really big on rest because the rest of the world is all about like extreme growth and extreme performance
yes.
and we love the infinity symbol.
Yeah.
There are periods of rest and there are periods of high energy and periods of rest. And then, that centerpiece right there, that
Yes.
in the middle of the infinity symbol, there's lots of fun symbolism to unpack in that. Um,
Absolutely.
we also have a fun phrase we use in coaching magic where we say the magic is in the middle.
Great.
It's in the
Perfect.
middle, right? So I love this centering we're talking about, and I love the encouragement that you're giving here to coaches of stay with that messiness. If you're coming back and you're like, oh, this is the messy middle, let me get out of it as fast as I can. We might be missing something. We might be shoving something down,
Mhm.
not getting all the gifts that this messy middle is offering to our experience as a coach And not only our own growth, clearly our own growth is worth
Yep,
it, period, full stop. And then we can relate, like you said, relate better to our clients as well.
absolutely. Yep, when you realize that the universe always has your back no matter what, and it's always gonna be used for you, and as a coach, if you already are skilled in making your message or putting content together, that's gonna be
Mhm.
the easy part. You might just need a little distance from it, but it doesn't mean that you're not qualified.
Mm, I love it. Um, Kelly, I want to, can I tell you a story?
Yeah, please.
I love serendipities. I love, um, coincidences. Some people call them God winks, but I love when things happen like really, really close together.
Mhm.
And with your energy turning towards moms and boys, I am a mother of 3 sons, and, last night, I had the opportunity to really, just tap into some deep intuition, and I would love to get your take on this, I would love to get your insights on this. Uh, my oldest son, he just started a business. He just started a business, and he had a situation where he called me last night. It was like 7:30 at night. Um, he called me and he said, "Mom, I am headed to this thing, and I feel in my body that this is not the right thing to do." And, I asked him some questions. I'm like, "Can we rule out anxiety? Can we
Mhm.
rule out this?" And he was so sure and confident in his body that this was, just not a good situation. And I felt this wave of pride that, number 1, he's using the words, "I felt this in my body,
Yes.
this truth." And then I asked him some more questions, and you had used a phrase, just, a few minutes ago, that you got past facts. You got past facts, and I had started to ask him some facts, like just being his double check, asked him some facts, and I said, "Hey, I give me a second. I wanna check in with my intuition on this." So I was prepared to take full quiet minute if I needed to, and the second I said that, it this is where I felt it in my mind and my heart. The facts were not lining up, and my heart was lining up, but where I felt it was, I trusted his intuition.
Yes.
It almost wasn't like a feeling of, "Oh, this is my energy coming into I can confirm this for my son because this is what I felt." It was logically, it made sense, and my heart trusted his heart, and that
Yes.
was it. Can you unpack that story, and maybe add your Kelly flair and
Yeah.
insight?
So, such a gorgeous moment for both of you, for him to have the agency to, and not even the agency, just, "Hey, I'm having this and I'm looking for validation and I just want confirmation." Great. Great on you of, doing the anxiety check, and one of the ways that I always do that is, is this fear? Is this a fear response or excitement? Sometimes it feels the same, and I always look for the fruit of the feeling, if you're feeling
Mhm.
confident and empowered and at ease and peaceful, that's you following your intuition. If it's there's a little bit of anxiety still or fear or uncertainty or I don't know, that's probably just your anxiety talking. Um and trusting our sons with their lives, that really is what we especially driven moms who tend to be, and this is going to be a huge blanket statement, but we could be too controlling or involved or invested if we're not careful. And
Yeah.
just going like this, even if it's the wrong decision, you'll find a way to make it right. But just watching them trust the process of their own life, My 18-year-old is starting a business as well, and
How fun.
it is magic just watching them trust themselves and know their lives so well. Um, so it sounds like you did an amazing job. I wouldn't certainly change anything, but I think just to underscore the validation of how important it is to trust them, especially men, so they can go out because that hammering and forging energy is something that they need. It's like the the story with the monk and the little boy, and they're walking down a path and they pick up the cocoon, and the little boy wants to rip open the cocoon and help the butterfly release and fly, and the monk says no, it needs that struggle to release its wings or to strengthen its wings, and the little boy says okay, and in secret he pulls the butterfly out and the butterfly's in his hand and won't fly, and it's like they need that struggle. The wing needs that struggle against the cocoon, tearing out of the cocoon, to make it strong enough to fly. So even if it was the wrong decision, somehow it's going to serve you.
Mm. Somehow it's going to serve you. Kelly, I'm feeling so blessed right now to just be in conversation with you.
Same,
So
same.
thank you so much. Can we go into, well, there's two places I really want to go, and maybe I'll let you decide. But I kind of like going on um, this trail of masculine and feminine and female coaches who are driven. I always say coaching magic is for passionate, dedicated female coaches.
Mhm.
Passionate and dedicated. Uh, female coaches going on this thread, but we have sons.
Mhm.
And I know you are coaching mothers and sons. And so I wonder if you might give us some things that you're finding, um, uh, some things for for female coaches to look for when maybe they're just coaching the masculine.
Sure. So I think when you talk about the infinity symbol, um, it really is the masculine energy that goes first. And I think, you said one thing that I wanted to go on when you talk about like the female coaches maybe being in their masculine. And anytime we're in entrepreneurship, it generally requires a fair degree of masculine. And one of the things that I've had to learn as a woman is there's a difference between independent and anti-dependent. And I had gotten to anti-dependent. I don't want help from anybody. I got it. I wanted to get it done right, so I'm just going to do it myself. And so getting really anti-dependent was one of the wounds I had to heal and lean into receiving. Receiving is the core feminine energy. And I remember, I don't remember, I'm in the throes of really challenging myself. It actually started this summer when everything was happening with my son. I had to like double dog dare myself to ask my partner to bring me a glass of water from the kitchen when he was coming back from the kitchen with his own. Like,
Mm,
I'm like, okay, you can do this. Just, hey, babe,
mm.
can you give me a glass of water? Like, oh, that was
I
scary.
did it.
I did it.
I did
But
it. I
like,
asked for help.
like it was, but like, and then and now I'm like, what is happening that I had to get to a place to double dog dare myself to ask for a glass of water?
Hmm,
And so really being able to receive, and like even when it's unasked for, if somebody, like anytime there's anything on offer, even if I don't want it, just take it, because I have to coach myself to be able to receive. And with the the boys, the thing that I'm learning so much right now, because my emotions are so keyed up, because there's just been so much grief with my 18-year-old and my 16-year-old in his illness. Like there has just been so much grief, and so the emotions have been really big, and my boys don't want my emotions, and they
hmm,
shouldn't, because it puts them in a position where it feels like they have to be my emotional keeper, and that's not their role. And
hmm,
in my mind, I'm like, I want them to be comfortable around a woman's emotions, because one day they're going to be living with women, and I want them to understand a woman's emotions and the mystery around it, but also it's not their responsibility. So me finding the line of like having emotions, but not making it their responsibility. Um, and that's work that I've had attention on for a long time, but like this is the biggest opportunity I've had to practice this, and I'm not getting it. I'm not great with it, especially with grief
Mm.
because it comes out of nowhere. Like there's times where I just have to like bow out of the room or just, you know, leave because it's so big. Um, but it's an active conversation of like my emotions are not a reflection of anything that you have done, good, bad, or indifferent. Like my emotions are my responsibility. There is a difference, and we can all be in the space with it together. It's not your responsibility to fix it. Especially my oldest one is like the sweetest, and he's like so fast to jump in and want to rescue. And
Yes.
it's like
Yes.
just leaving him to just be witness with and just hold space is enough.
Mm. I've witnessed my own self with my sons as we've grown in everyone's an adult now, as we've grown into adulthood. Um, the 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 pleasure that comes from asking them for help.
Mm,
I'm without a car right now because my car was totaled, and asking them for help, "Hey, will you take me to Target? Hey, will you take me to
yep.
work? Hey, will you pick me up from work?" And I've noticed the pleasure in myself at
Yes.
watching them excited to help me, and, their energy level raises.
Yes.
Just that, I'm asking for help and receiving help, and at somehow our like the conversations had just a little more energy versus usually it's mom, I'm paying for our vacations, I'm we're feeding everybody, we're like I'm in charge.
Yep.
But when they're in charge, there's a different energy, and it's really fun. It takes the relationship to a different level.
Yeah, because they get to be in their providership. That is a
Yeah.
core masculine, like, they get to be in providership, they get to win, they have a problem that they can solve. That's what like, men are so great at that, and that you talked earlier about the difference between men and male and female coaches, like, males are looking at life through a scope. They have laser beam eyes, they're looking through a very, very narrow scope to see how they can win, where they can serve, where the
Hmm.
the kill is. And we've got the
Beautiful.
lantern. Like, we've got the whole landscape, so we're looking at seemingly unconnected pieces. And so when we can, like, be super direct of, "I need you to take me to Target," instead of, "Hey, I need some help," and they're, like, floundering, like, I don't know what to do," especially in a husband-wife relationship. And that's, like, when the husband just starts throwing solutions at his partner, and it's like, "I don't need that. I just need you to be here holding space, like, meeting me and telling me you got my back. I don't need a solution right now." And so when you can be really direct with what you need, it's another
Mhm.
form of making that request and being in receipt of what you actually need.
Mm, beautiful. Whew. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kelly, we're almost out of time, but I'm so curious about another topic, and it's really big for female coaches. I think maybe driven entrepreneurs. Well, I'm not even going to say I think maybe because I've seen it so many times. And it's within this intimate relationship where one partner, and especially for me, what happened is I got into coaching. I started growing because I was forced to, because my clients were growing, and they're having experiences that elevated my experience. I sense this wide growth net of
Yeah.
all this. I just experienced huge levels of growth. And, my husband was not in the same environment.
Mhm.
So, in short, I was growing. I'm sure he was growing too, but we weren't growing in the same direction. For female entrepreneurial coaches, what are some things that we can watch for, be prepared for, do in advance of to either preserve an intimate relationship or grow an intimate relationship as we are experiencing personal growth?
Yeah, it's such a big question, and I think it's one of the biggest challenges of female entrepreneurs is finding the man or partner to keep pace with that. And there's a lot of levels of that answer, and the first one is recognizing, okay, here's where we start. When we come home and we're in all that masculine energy, and it's like, my client did this, because this is the same thing happened to me when I was in strategic coach. I was
Mm,
around successful entrepreneurs all day, And I come home and I'm like, this happened and this happened. And I'm so excited to tell him. And he's like, cool. And I'm like, oh, that's not cool. That's amazing. Like, we should be doing this together. And I'm like throwing all these like business ideas at him. And that's when he said, like, why can't this just be enough? Like, why do you need this whole complexity of trying to own a business together? And so what I didn't realize is how much I was emasculating him by coming home because my stories of excitement started turning into stories of comparison, started turning into stories of criticism.
Mm.
And so I'm bringing this energy, and men aren't wired to like dominate or have like that kind of competition with their wives. They're wired for that in the outside world. They're wired for that in the business world. They're wired for that in like their male to male competition. But with their wives, it's like, well, I don't know what to do, so I'm just going to shut up, and they shrink. And as women, we are life givers. Our words are literally the spell. We are either breathing life into our people or sucking it out of them. And when the compliment to criticism ratio is off because all we're doing is telling stories of comparison and what we could be doing and how what we're doing isn't enough together, we're sucking the life out of them. And that happened for me. I got to a point where like the most ambitious thing I heard my husband say was, I think I'd like to be the mall Santa. And I was like, what did you just say to me?
Mm.
You want to be the mall? So we were out Christmas shopping. There was a mall Santa, and he made a completely like innocent, I'd like to be the mall. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Because I had been coding that into him of that's all that he was capable of. And then fast forward through our divorce, and he had started dating a new woman, and he was like, can you keep the kids for an extra weekend? And I was like, of course, eager to have more time with the kids. And he said, thanks. I won the President's Award. I'm in the top 1% of sales. I'll be in Hawaii for 10 days with my new girlfriend. And I was like, wait, what? I couldn't get you out of bed before noon. And that happens all the time. Like when women can speak life into their husband, they will rise to meet that because that's the power of our words as a woman. So whether it's our partner or our sons, it's how we're speaking to them. And if you are a man in partnership with a driven entrepreneur, you have got to be committed to showing up as the masculine energy. So if she lets go of the reins, you have to grab the reins from her. And you have to hold your boundaries. I might not do it your way, but I'm going to get it done for us. I've got you. And so the things that the men need to, in partnership with women, need to focus on: provision, protection, pursuit. Provision, protection, pursuit. Provision, protection, pursuit. You find ways to provide, even if it's not financially. You find ways to provide. Get your hands on the property around the house, making sure that your house is safe, making sure that she's safe and you're walking in between her and traffic on the sidewalk. You're putting gas in her car, you're checking her tires, you're flirting with her, you're pursuing her, like you're still turned on by her. You are not threatened by her. And that is the man's job that he needs to pour into holding that masculine space, because if he doesn't fill it, she will. And at that point, she's not going to respect him, and it is going to be a flatline marriage. So both people in that dynamic need to be doing the work.
As you're sharing this, I'm sure this is how a lot of humans listen. As you're sharing this, I'm just running my story through my mind. We apply it to our own
Mhm.
way of our own lens of looking through life, and I can see so many, behaviors that I had where I really thought I was bringing everything I had to the relationship. 'Cause that's what the thought I had in my mind is, "I gotta give my all to this." And my all actually just
It's
squashed
too much.
anything that he had to bring.
Mhm.
And it wasn't a partnership. It was
Sure.
uh,
A
I don't
doership.
know, just yeah, say it again?
A doership. You're
A
just doing
doership.
everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's I think a lot of I think, like I said, so much of us came up through so many of us came up through the time when doing anything like a girl was wrong, and we
Mm,
were coded by like the everyone loves Raymond mentality of like the husband's an idiot, just sit down and shut up, I'll do it myself. And here we are.
Yeah,
and
here we are.
it's both men and women, I think, have a lot of reconciliation to do in terms of how much we've lost in the power of our true biology of where we are as men and women.
Wow. Well, you've given us so much to ponder and integrate and feel in our hearts. That just for me, this episode was all like, I love the episodes to be like having a cup of coffee with a good
Yeah.
friend who is a passionate, dedicated coach. So thank you. Thank you for this. I've taken so much away from this. Kelly, if the coaches are wanting to get a hold of you, if somebody listening to this podcast is a driven entrepreneur and a coach, like
Yeah.
all of that, what's the best way to get a hold of you? What are you most passionate about how you're serving people these days? Share with us a little bit about that.
Yep, I really am the most passionate about balancing the male and female dynamics, whether that's in a love relationship or a parenting relationship. And so if that's something that you would like support with, I'm at kellyclements.com. There's a link on there that you can just book a call straight on my calendar and just get a call scheduled, and we'll connect that way, one on one.
Awesome. And we'll make sure that's in the show notes as well,
Great, thank you
for
so
sure.
much.
Uh, Kelly, we like to do one last thing. We like to play games
Okay.
on the Coaching Magic podcast. And I did not tell you about this, but I feel like you can handle it. I think you'll be really excited. I'm currently obsessing over these cards. It's called Sweet Ass Affirmations. And they're fun sayings. And so I'm going to pull a card
Okay.
and I'm going to share it with you. And then you're just going to share where this card is most alive for you right now.
Okay.
Does it feel good? Okay,
Perfect.
now I don't look. See, I'm shuffling the cards. I'm not looking. And I'm going to pull a card. Here it is. It says, oh, okay, this is fun. I welcome and expect magic, miracles, wizards, and source
Mm,
into my life.
that's so great.
Where's
Um,
that most alive for you right now?
That is definitely most alive for me in my healing and my perspective of how full and rich and enjoyable and pleasurable my life is going to be when my little birdies leave my nest.
You expect it. You expect magic and
Of
miracles,
course.
wizards and source.
Of course. Thank you. More, please.
Thank you. More, please. And I also like to share where it's alive for me. I welcome and expect magic, miracles, wizards, and source into my life. Um, I had a phrase come to me when I was with my coach a couple months ago that I said, I'm the luckiest girl alive, and it's never going to end.
Mm,
And when I see this phrase, it brings me back to that phrase. And it's the people and me, myself, this is how I feel. Um, People who want to find magic will always find it.
always.
Will
Always.
find it.
Always.
If you don't want to find magic, you're not going to find it. So,
Exactly.
coaches, hopefully you enjoyed this conversation with Kelly Clements today. I know I sure did. Thank you, Kelly.
Thank you.
And I hope everybody out there is looking for magic because you are magic. Remember that you are magic. Bye, Kelly.
Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you for playing with me today in the land of coaching magic. If you want more magic, I invite you to explore www.jillyoung.com. This is where you can see all the shenanigans I've created for you to expand your world of coaching. See you there. And remember, you are magic.